Greetings, welcome back to PinkOddBird. Today I'm here to share a custom order that I received on Etsy from a gal, and this book is really personalized to exactly what she wanted, and I love the way this book turned out. It was so fun to work on. It's the largest book that I've made to date, so I'm gonna have to go really fast because this video can get really long otherwise. So I'm gonna try and be as detailed as I can, but as fast as I can. So if I'm talking really fast, that is why. Just a quick little background. She wanted me to incorporate, like, there's 5 movies that she gave me. There's she's in film school, she likes Shakespeare, and the book is meant to have like an overall, like, kind of dark, dramatic, romantic kind of feel to it, which is right up my alley. If you guys know me, those are my favorite things in the world. So this book, I actually called it Dramatis Personae, a Chronicle. And the reason why I called it that is, 1, because it's really Shakespearean, and 2, because it means main characters. So that has a few different meanings. In this book, there are main characters of the movies that she wanted me to incorporate. Additionally, if she writes in this book about her own personal life, there will be probably main characters of her own life in this book. And then if she, being in film school, wants to write some creative ideas in here, there will probably also be main characters in those creative ideas. So I felt like that was the perfect name for this book, and so it was. So on the cover, she wanted it to have the church scene from Romeo and Juliet, so that's what you see here. This is Juliet up here. This is some of the scenery from the church, and then Leonardo DiCaprio would be down here somewhere getting ready to walk up. This little thing was a happy accident. It was originally clear, and I started scratching the back to give it some tooth to hold on, so that the glue would hold on to the lace. And then I realized that I was scratching the mirror, like, coating off of it. So I continued scratching it all off, and I realized that you could see through it. So what I did was I took some Inca Gold and rubbed that on the back. So now it has this cool, like, blue that matches everything else in the book, which I absolutely wanted, because I went to the store looking for a stone this color and I couldn't find one. And while I was sitting at my craft table and that happened, and then I thought about adding the Inca Gold to this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. The reason why I wanted to have this stone on the front in this color is because Leonardo DiCaprio is in Romeo and Juliet, but he was also in Titanic, and I wanted this to sort of be a little nod to the heart of the ocean. So, and this is also kind of like where he would be standing in this scene. So that's what I had in my head. And then when I scratched the mirror coating off of it and decided to add this, I was like, it was just like the best, like, moment ever. You know, when those happy accidents happen and you're just like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. So that is that story. Aside from that, there's going to be lots of this kind of like film strip incorporated in the book. I really hope you guys can see this good, because it is a dreary, rainy day today, and I need to get this filmed because I have to ship it out tomorrow. So this is the largest book that I've ever done. It's like 9.5 inches tall, 6 1/4 wide, and the spine is like almost like 2 3/4 or so. I just added this like black trim, I don't know if you can see, on the side, and then the back is just covered with the collage medium to protect the paper. There's 5 signatures in the book, and each signature has about approximately 12 pages, so there should be around like 250, 280 or so writable pages in this book. It's going to be used throughout the year, and I just put a hair tie closure on it. I wanted to keep it neat and simple because she probably will be carrying this in her backpack, so I wanted it to be kind of like compactable and just to itself, not too much stuff hanging out everywhere. Okay, on the front cover, a recycled corner bakery bag, as you can see here. I got the tutorial for this bag from Dreamz Etc. Hers was gorgeous, but this is what I wanted to do for this book. I'll link to her tutorial below. So I'm going to try, like I said, and go through this as fast as I can, because this video can get really long really fast. All right, so this bag, she can pack loads of stuff into this, because, I mean, it's a big bag, and so she can put some papers or whatever she wants in there. And then she also wanted me to incorporate the water scene from Romeo and Juliet I couldn't figure out a way to do that on the cover, so I put this in the front cover. And then all I did was the actual base of this is the back of my Tim Holtz ruler. I altered it, and I just did some mixed media on here. I added a chunk of lace at the top. She wanted me to incorporate black lace. And then some feathers here, flowers. This film strip, again, incorporated. I wanted to make that prevalent since that is what she's studying for. So there's going to be lots of that throughout. Yeah, so this is that. And then on the back, I collaged on Tsunami Rose's little entry journaling area. So, and then I just stamped Act 1 since it's at the beginning of the book. That's usually where Act 1 starts. And then here, there's just some ephemera. This little tag I got from Cindy in Junk Journal Junkies, and I just added this paper and all this trim and a ticket to the back. I incorporated like these tickets because it kind of made me feel like movie-ish, kind of like back in the days tickets. So thanks for this tag, Cindy. Here is a reference to one of the movies, and then I have this super cool like frilly lace, and you can actually see this through the front poking out just a bit, and that's kind of like fun. I like the way it feels and looks. So yeah, and then just a little charm here, some trim, and that's it. So of course I had to add a little Shakespeare. There's 5 altered paper clips because there's 5 signatures in the book, so there's 1 in each signature. One of the movies is Interview with the Vampire, so there's a vampire element here. A scrap stack, and in this scrap stack I included some film strip, and so she can tuck something under there. Some stenciling with my Tim Holtz Gothic stencil. So there's 5 altered playing cards in this book, and this is the first time I've actually made an altered playing card. And they came slanted like this, so I thought that was kind of different. That's the way the cards came. On the back, I just stuck on some cardstock and distressed it so she can write on the backs of these. And then on the front, this particular one is covered with sewing pattern paper, and then I fussy cut this lady some washi, added these trims to the top. And then when I was thinking about this book, I was drinking some tea, and I decided to save my little tea tags. So I just punched out a heart to cover up what the name of the tea was. She can write little notes on the insides of these if she wants to. I just distressed them. And then on the backs of them, they all have these really inspirational little sayings on them. And I felt like that was perfect because I wanted her to keep being inspired. So I started saving my tea tags over the course of me working through this book so that I could add them to these little cards. Here, just some black lace like she wanted incorporated, some film strip here. This is a little Donnie Darko journaling spot, and then behind it is just some extra decorative paper that I added in there she can write on. Tsunami Rose. So here's a little Interview with the Vampire tag that I put on there, and then I put some bats behind him because vampires and bats, duh. Another little reference to one of the movies, Fear and Love. I think that one's from Donnie Darko. She wanted red and white roses incorporated, so I made sure to add some of those in. Here's an altered policy envelope that I did. I basically just covered it, made it look all grungy, covered it with collage medium. And then on the inside, there are 2 index cards. One is plain, and then one has a quote on it from, I think this one's from My Own Private Idaho, but it says, "I'll change when everybody expects it least." So that's from one of the movies. So here's a little journaling spot. Flip open. So this is the center of the first signature. I just stamped on the centers of all the signatures. Here's the other side of that policy envelope. I saved that from something that I bought on Etsy, I believe. And in there, there's this little piece from one of the, this one's from My Private Idaho. And so that's in there for her to write on the back of. And then I put a little bit of me in here. This is the Handbook for the Recently Deceased. Beetlejuice is like in my top 5 favorite movies, and Tim Burton is my absolute favorite director. So I added this in here. So little, I stapled it, but I also stitched it, but I stapled it because it's on, the front cover is on parchment paper. So just to make sure that it stayed on. So there's some little film paper, and then other spare paper, Tsunami Rose library card. There's the center of the signature, or of the little booklet, I should say. It's its own signature. And then there's the back. So I thought that would be kind of fun to add in there. A little extra writing area. So here, just some little ephemera. This little math card, I got a box of these at a yard sale. And since she's in school, this is a little library thing. I felt like it would be kind of cool to add in some little vintage school stuff like that. This tag is just put on here sideways. I saved this candle from the front cover. When I cut the image down, that was a pretty good candle, so I added it there. Tuck spot. All the papers were coffee stained, and it did smell really coffee-ish. And then when I got to the back of the book to add what I was adding, the glue that I had to use to make sure that it stayed kind of like overtook it. So I hope that like dies down a little. But you can still faintly smell the coffee in the book. But it smelled like, when I was making this book, I was just like inhaling the coffee smell because it smelled so good. Okay, so yeah, so everything's coffee stained. Well, not everything, but most stuff. So some sewing pattern paper I glued on here. More black lace. Little tiny tuck spot. So at the end of the first signature, all of the signatures will have washi tape on the back, so the end of the signature. So there's like, here's another altered paper clip. I put some film strip in there. I chose that orange ribbon because it kind of looked like film strip. So that's one of those. And then I just have this little shadow hands guy. Some trim, Tsunami Rose flowers, tuck spot here. More film strip. This is a reference to one of the movies. There's some film strip here. I don't think you can see it because, like I said, it's dreary. And here's a pocket, and I just added this bird because I liked it, and it looks a little odd. Cheesy, I know. Okay, so on the black pages, well, in this one I added film strip to the top, but on these black pages, she can write on them with gel pen, like silver, white, gold. They all work on the black pages. So that's why I'm perfectly fine adding black pages into a book. Gives it a different look, more interest. Little collage that I did on that Beethoven music paper I got. And it's got some Scrimpy's Lace Closet Lace, Tsunami Rose jar, and some of her flowers and some doilies. So this page, I bought a sewing pattern from a thrift store, and somebody had photocopied this and it was in there. So I left it. It's like photocopied their writing. I guess maybe some instructions. I'm not sure. There's the center of the second signature. There's my ravens. You guys know I love. Here's the other side of that sewing Xerox copy that they made. I think they were trying to do 4 colors. They must have been somewhere because they wrote colors. Colors? I don't know. I don't know what that says. Colors? It looks like colors with a U, but then this looks like an F. Anyways, that was a waste of time. Okay, so some more lace. I put a little heart in here because, you know, romance, love. Shakespeare quote there. Another altered paper playing card. I fussy cut this vampire lady. Another one of my tea tags. So here, there's some film strip layered, some lace, a ticket, a doily, and then this little TV is a reference to one of the movies. Tsunami Rose. Big strip of washi. So I made this envelope out of some other music paper that I have, covered it with sewing pattern paper, and turned it into an envelope. So it's like all, you know, it feels really cool. So she can put something in there. That one's empty. Little tsunami rose here. Down here it says narcolepsy, and that's from My Own Private Idaho. When the guy was getting really stressed, he would fall asleep in the middle of a situation, which I thought was kind of funny. Not funny, but you know what I mean. So here's the back of the second signature. Another vampire reference, another altered paper clip. This one just has music paper, film strip, and then a leftover strip from when I was punching hearts out for something else, I don't know, so I just added that on here. Use your scraps, guys. Use your scraps. More paper, paper, paper. Some trim, the doily stain there. I know I'm probably going really fast, but I'm sorry, but otherwise this video is going to be like 45 minutes long. Another vampire lady here. So here, another library card, some spare scrap paper she can write on the back of that. This is Tsunami Rose's Witch's Brew, and I felt like with the theme of this book, it fit perfectly. So if you have this Tsunami Rose kit, there's totally, you know, it doesn't have to be restricted for Halloween. Like, you can totally add it to another theme. As you can see, it fits. Some rose paper here. This is something else that came in one of the sewing patterns that I bought from the thrift store. But I left it because it says your creative button. And so I want her to remember to be creative. And then down here it says so special. So special. Because she's special. She can write on the back of that with a gel pen. This altered paper clip, I just had some leftover fabric from a book that I made. So I just stuck that on there. Tsunami Rose's envelopes. We love them. We love them. Sewed into the center of the signature. She can write on these pages with gel pen. Red rose there. The other side of that sewing paper, I just added this imagery because it's kind of surreal. And on this tag, it's a tuck spot and it just says device. So I wanted her to remember to keep creating, inventing, things like that. The other side of that Witch's Brew. Here's the third altered playing card. This one still has sewing pattern paper on it. I fussy cut out this image, another T tag, and some shimmada humbadas up here. A little tuck spot here with a Prima journaling card. I found this online. I thought it was really pretty. I backed it on black cardstock so she can write on the back of that. Just have some blue ribbon here and some blue lace here. Another of those doily kind of stains. I don't even know if you could see this, but at this point I can't do this video again. So here's a belly band. There's two long film strips here and then a strip of lace. And then this little, I have a Charlie Brown book that I got at a yard sale. And I opened the book and I was like, I don't care what I take out. So I just tore whatever was on the right side of the page out. And it was this. And then you can see I really kind of like haphazardly just cut the edge. Well, this page, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's kind of naturally distressed along the edges here. And I really want to say this because if you guys, you other crafters who use Tim Holtz Distress Ink know. So it's really distressed on the edge, and I was like, oh, that looks so cool. So when I cut this side, it's like all plain. So I was like, ugh. So I used Vintage Photo to distress the edge a little bit where I cut it. And you guys, oh my gosh, like Tim Holtz like literally matched that look perfectly because the Vintage Photo that I used here is the exact same color as the natural distressing that this page got on its own. So I was like, heck yes, that is so cool. Okay, sidebar on that. Now, in addition, about what I want to say about this little page is when I tore it out of the book, I then read what it was saying. And this little piece is them talking about like what they have. He's asking them if he's ever written with a pen. And so this is them talking about writing with the pen and handwriting, etc. And I was like, that's so perfect because it's going to go in a writing book. And then I flipped it over and read what was on this side. And it's them... one of Charlie Brown is reading, but then he's talking about children watching TV. So, and then I was like, that's perfect too, because this book is like film. So, and movies. So I was like, this belongs here. That is your home. That's where you live. So, okay. I'm glad these pages are kind of empty, so I don't have to talk about it, because that was a good little 2-minute chit chat right there. So here's the 4th altered playing card. On this one, I had some napkin. So this napkin had a raven on it, so I just put him on there, and then some trim, another T tag, and then cardstock on the back. And then I made this giant scrap stack, and then I try to hold it up so you can see, but it's got like the film strip incorporated in there, and a bunch of like some fabric in there. So it's just a huge like scrap stack pocket. That's kind of hard to say. To thine own self be true. That's a Shakespeare quote. Some romantic burgundy lace here. I don't know if you can see that. So, this is a book page from the Velveteen Rabbit book that I got at a thrift store. Just added that in there. Another image that I got, and then it's backed on black cardstock. She can write on the back of those. Trying to maximize writing space in this book. An F. Scott Fitzgerald quote. There's my skeletons. Center of the signature. Film strip paper. Tsunami Rose journaling spot. Some film strip that I just stapled onto the top here. This is one of Tsunami Rose's calendar journaling spots. I just wrapped it around so something can tuck on either side here. This is a little Romeo and Juliet thing. I just tore it, and then I put some distress ink on it to make it look distressed, and it's just coffee stained on the back, and then it's belly band. Some more of those roses. This is from Lori's shop, Everyday Journal, the glassine bag. And then, of course, you guys know I have to put my etiquette papers in. This one is talking about when you go to the theater, when you watch a performance, dressing for theater. So I felt like that was really befitting for this book. So here it resides. Another envelope that I made on some music paper, and then this one I had a napkin that I collaged on top of it, and then on the inside is Tsunami Rose journaling spot, and then that just tucks in here, and then this piece flips up. She can write something here if she wants, and that's the end of the 4th signature. We're almost done, and we're not even 30 minutes yet. Whoop. So here's a card. It just has 2 ladies with some hats, and it's coffee stained, and the back is just plain. The image on the front was from 1882, but the card was made in France in 1997. So she can write inside of there. And then on the back we have the final altered paper clip. Just some vellum paper. There's some music paper in there, and then there's some Scrimpy's lace. And then I have this rose envelope. It matches with that rose paper that you saw in here earlier with the rose across the top. And then on the inside of this is this is an old vintage lamp. And the reason why I added this lamp is because I think it was My Own Private Idaho, there's a scene where the guy was doing this hilarious song and dance with the lamp, and I was looking for a different kind of lamp originally, but I liked this one, so that's why the lamp is in here. That scene was so funny to me. It was so fun, like I said, making this book and working with her, because it was just like, you kind of get to know, little bits and bobs about somebody, what they're into. Tsunami Rose here. And then I just put some red hearts underneath the sewing paper that I glued on top, some film strip here, fabrics, and a flower. Some more of those red roses. So this, I think her name is Kathleen, I want to say. But she's from a Shakespeare play. And I want to say maybe it was, I want to say it was Othello. I'm not sure, but she is from one of the Shakespeare plays. A Tsunami Rose tag here. And I just added some lace to the top of that. Another reference to one of the movies. Center of the signature. I hope I'm not forgetting anything because I'm zooming, guys. Here's the final altered playing card. This one also has napkin decoupage over it, ticket, doodads. These are really cute, and I like the way they came out. I really do. Tsunami Rose. There's a envelope. There's some film strip behind this velvet ribbon. And then on this side, the envelope flips out. And this is kind of like a sort of vintage report card. So, and it's plain on this side, but like I said, I wanted to incorporate some of those like old school elements to it since she's in school. And I just added some washi here, graph paper. On this one, it's a tuck spot, and then this was a scrap that I had used to punch some hearts out, and then I just stamped on the page XOXO in between each heart. And there's a little stack of stuff here, a tag that I made and coffee stained. It's got velvet ribbon on there and some gold ribbon. We're almost there. Another film. This tag came from Cindy, Junk Journal Junkies. Thank you, Cindy. More Tsunami Rose. My favorite, you guys don't even know. When I thought about this book and when she told me she was in film school, I was like, I have to do this. So I went to a little vintage camera store in the next town over, and I asked them if they had any movie reels that were kind of small, and they did. So I got the movie reel, and it was intact originally, and I had to kind of fight with it with a wrench and pliers and other crazy tools because it was all soldered together, so you couldn't just like you can't unsnap the two reels apart. That's not possible really. And then it actually had some film tape on it, or film strip on it, and I had gotten film strip from online beforehand, but this came with film strip also that is incorporated in this book. So that's why there's two kinds of film strip, two kinds. And so I put this on here on the back, and this is what I had to attach with the glue. I had to use E6000, and we all know that's really strong smelling glue, so I was kind of sad that it took away from some of the coffee smell, but I really wanted to add this in here. And then I just layered some music or some film strip in there. You can see the film strip. There's some flowers, some tickets, some black lace, just a bunch of the elements that she had originally asked for. But I felt like this is like the coup de grace, my favorite. Look at it, guys, it's a freaking movie reel pocket. In the pocket is another like kind of vintage report card booklet that I made. I stitched it. There's a pocket on the front and a pocket on the back, so something can go inside of there. And then the inside, there's just some papers, different kinds, different textures. The center one is an actual like blown up film cell, so like one of the individual cells in a strip of film. And then just more paper, and that goes back in this pocket. And then there's my stamp. That's the end. I loved making this book. It was so much fun, and I really enjoy doing custom orders like this. I hope she likes this book as much as I do. If you made it through this entire video with me, you are a super trooper. Another film reference. Okay, it's time for me to go. I appreciate you guys all for watching. Thank you for this order. Thank you for giving me this challenge. I appreciate it. I hope I didn't forget anything. And we'll see you guys next time. Toodaloo.